I'd love to hear the pitch for this movie. So it goes something like this. So we've got this idea for a World War II action movie that has a twist. What's the twist, you say? Well, have you played Call of Duty Black Ops? There you go. If you've seen the trailer for Overlord, then you've seen everything you need to know about the film. If you haven't, the premise of the film is that a group of American soldiers have landed in France and they need to take out a Nazi radio tower that's hidden inside of a church so that the rest of the Allied forces can land on Normandy on D-Day. When they enter the church, they encounter just some weirdness and some human experimentation going on, and that's it. The film truly is pretty much a live-action Call of Duty Black Ops film. The movie is somewhat fun, but it's really forgettable. The acting is semi-decent, but at times it's overly melodramatic. But on the whole, it's not terrible. Now, there are several scenes in which the main character should have been seen by the Nazis just through his actions of what he's doing. As he's trying to be stealthy, but he's just doing things that, like, he's running down a road and then all of a sudden headlights hit him and so he jumps off the side of the road and the truck drives by. There's no way in the world that they didn't see him. And then there's other scenes like that where he is just in blatant plain view of the enemy, and they must have just been turning the other way or something because they totally miss him and he gets to go along his way. As far as pacing goes, there are a few scenes that could have or should have been cut because they seem to drag on just a little bit. Now overall, I didn't totally feel the time, even though it's almost a 2-hour runtime. So most of the time the pace goes on at a pretty good click. But there were a couple of scenes where it was just like, okay, let's just move this along a tiny bit. Some of the action in this is just plain gnarly. I mean, it is going to make you cringe in pain and discomfort. And oh my goodness, there's this scene with this big metal hook. As I said, Overlord is fun, but it's forgettable. I mean, as an action film, it's okay. It's not bad. There are some really great sequences within there, even though it's pretty CGI heavy. Now, as far as a World War II drama goes, though, it's kind of run-of-the-mill. There's nothing special or stand out about it. I mean, none of the characters are like, ooh, wow, that's really one that you just like rises to the top. They're all just kind of there and they just, you know, they're halfway decent. The story though does bring some tension because as it reached the climax, I did feel my heart begin to beat just a little bit faster, that I was excited by what I was seeing. But as soon as it was all over, I mean, the climax ends and then the movie continues on for another 5 or 10 minutes. It's just kind of like, okay. There's no nudity, but there is an attempted rape scene. There's a lot of profanity and a whole lot more violence. I give Overlord 3 out of 5 couches. What is your favorite war movie? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share, subscribe, and tap that notification bell if you haven't yet, because that will let you know when I upload new content. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.